Aloha, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I decided to make a little video about what is 5G and what isn't because I've been getting a lot of phone calls and emails and activity on our Facebook page, people saying, is this a 5G antenna? Is this a 5G tower? 5G is showing up on my phone. What does that mean? Do I have 5G? So I decided to answer those questions in this little video. So, what is 5G and what isn't it? We'll start with the basics here. 5G stands for fifth generation wireless infrastructure, and it's not to be confused with what does sometimes show up on your cell phone if it's searching for a Wi Fi connection, or might also show up on your cable box or your laptop. That refers to 5 gigahertz. And Wi Fi used to transmit at 2.4 gigahertz, but recently they also introduced 5 gigahertz frequency. And when people see that 5G showing up on their cell phone, cable box, or computer, they think, "Oh my God, I have 5G." But that's different. That's not what we're talking about. That's not the big bad 5G. 5G is fifth generation wireless technology. So back when cell phones were first made commercially available, they operated on 1G or the first generation. And you could basically make a phone call, and that was about it. And then 2G came along, and I think at this point, you were able to get like nationwide free long distance or something like that. And then 3G allowed even more functionality. You could, check email on your phone, you could surf the web. And then with 4G LTE, which is what most of us have right now, you could actually watch entire movies on your phone. So every time there's a new generation of wireless infrastructure that your phone utilizes, there's an increase in functionality. And we're told that 5G is going to give us faster downloads. But it's important to understand that 5G is not really about faster downloads. 5G is categorically different than anything that has ever existed in the history of the planet. 5G should really be called AI IoT, which stands for Artificial Intelligence and the Internet of Things, because 5G is really about robotics and driverless cars and augmented reality and the Internet of Everything. The idea is that everything that you come in contact with or that comes in contact with you will be chipped and antennaed and transmitting and emitting and collecting data at every step of the way. And these products that are all pictured and listed here, these already exist, by the way. Smart diapers, smart pacifiers, smart mattresses, toothbrushes, smart pills that can track whether you've taken the medication or not and potentially can report that to your doctor or your insurance company. And the smart pill can also track what's going on inside your body as it is ingested. Smart condoms that are designed to measure your thrust and semen output, and the ever popular womb pod that is designed to be inserted inside a pregnant mother's womb and play music to the developing fetus. Of course, irradiating the entire womb and fetus at the same time with wireless radiation and tracking everything. So lots of data collection, lots of radiation with the smart home, and everything happens through the phone. So if you want to know if your baby's diaper needs to be changed, you don't interact with your baby. No, you don't pick up your baby and hold your baby and check the diaper. You just look at your phone. You just check your phone. Your phone will tell you everything that you need to know. It's all about the phone. And all of these devices and appliances inside your home and inside your body, they're all connected through your phone and connected with each other. And the smart home then becomes part of a smart city with lots of smart buildings and smart offices with all of their equipment and devices all interconnected and communicating with each other. And the smart cities have smart cars driving all over. And all the smart cities are part of smart states, and smart states are part of smart countries that connect with other smart countries and smart cities until the entire planet just becomes this one interconnected smart web of radiation and data collection and surveillance. That is 5G. It's also important to know that 5G adds onto and does not replace existing infrastructure. In other words, all of the cell towers and antennas that we currently have will not go away. They'll simply be added onto. And 5G is utilizing millimeter wave frequencies in addition to others. And the millimeter wave frequencies are a higher frequency, and they're actually quite fragile. Millimeter wave frequencies are easily distorted. They don't penetrate well through walls and buildings, and they get absorbed by moisture in the air, and especially have a hard time transmitting through trees with leaves on them. So because of that, when millimeter wave frequencies are used, there has to be many, many, many more antennas. And we're talking about antennas installed every 2 to 5 homes in residential areas. We're talking about millions of new antennas, and they can be as close as 15 feet to your home. 5G also involves 120,000 new satellites in low to mid-orbit, and that's just in the US, by the way. I'll talk more about the satellites in a moment. 5G also involves new ground antennas, and the FCC just approved Elon Musk's SpaceX program for 1 million new 5G ground antennas. 5G also includes base stations and devices that contain multiple antennas in phased arrays. And these emit steerable laser-like beams that track each other, which means that each 5G phone turns into like a miniature cell tower that you hold in your hand or put on your body or hold next to your brain. I hope not. Each 5G-enabled phone contains dozens of tiny antennas that track and aim a narrowly focused beam to search and connect to the nearest antenna. And that might be in another cell phone, it might be in a device or a nearby appliance, or it might be a 5G small cell. The FCC has approved 5G to operate at 20 watts, which is 10 times more powerful than what we currently have. So we're talking about radiation 10 to hundreds of times greater than with 4G. So what's happening in Hawaii with regard to 5G? Well, in order to understand that, we need to understand that 5G is a marketing term. And as a marketing term, it can mean just about whatever big telecom wants it to mean. And they're actually fighting with each other about what 5G actually is. One company says, oh, we have the best and biggest 5G. And then another company says, no, you don't. You're using fake 5G. We have real 5G. And so it goes. There's a lot of infighting going on among the telecom companies about what 5G is. What we need to know is that 5G includes 3 different frequency bands, and it also includes 4G. So the bottom line is 5G is a frequency hog. It takes up a huge amount of the allowable spectrum. At the high end of the frequency band, millimeter waves are used, and these are 20 gigahertz and above. So 20 gigahertz, 30 gigahertz, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and on it goes. The millimeter waves usually use small cell antennas, which are sometimes called 5G small cells. And these are used in densely populated areas like football stadiums or rock concert arenas or big cities where there's a lot of people in a dense urban area. This is a picture of 5G small cell infrastructure. This is from Honolulu on the island of Oahu. And as you can see, these 5G small cells are mounted there on a light pole. And most of the time, 5G small cells are mounted on public infrastructure like light poles, telephone poles, electrical poles, utility poles. That's because they have to be very close together. These are millimeter wave And because they have to be close together, Big Telecom doesn't want to have to build all of these, poles and things to stick this on. So they've made arrangements to use already existing public infrastructure like light poles, telephone poles, utility poles, and so forth. This is a map of the island of Oahu showing Sprint 5G small cells. And this map is not current because we know that on Oahu, they also have AT&T 5G small cells. And I think they might also have Verizon as well. But it gives you an idea of where some of the infrastructure is located. Then we have the mid-frequency band, which is used by 4G and 5G, and these are microwave frequencies between 1 and 6 gigahertz. And these are the towers and the big, flat panel antennas that you see all over the place. They're in cities, they're in the suburbs, they're in rural areas, because these waves travel farther. And then there's the low frequency band that's also used by 4G and 5G, and this is the ultra high frequency band of 300 megahertz to 1 gigahertz. And again, these are the towers and the big antennas that you see all over the place in cities, suburbs, out in the country, and so forth. So this is a picture of the Pu'unene smokestack at the old sugar mill on the island of Maui. And these are most likely 4G flat panels. This is a picture of a small tower that is in Makawao, on church property, apparently. And this is in somebody's backyard who lives very nearby that. And this is a new tower that just went up during lockdown from the coronavirus lockdown. And as you can see, if you look up at the top there, that little tuft-looking thing, that's because this tower was eventually made to look like a fake Norfolk pine tree. And this is most likely a 4G and 5G infrastructure. This, sadly, is a picture of a school on Oahu in Honolulu, and it's very sad because you have to think about these kids who have to sit in these classrooms every single day during school for hours and hours and be exposed to the kind of radiation that is coming off of, those kinds of towers. Not good. I'm showing this picture of this Ookla speed test because this has been flying around a lot on social media. And it says that it shows 5G deployments all over the world. And if you click down onto the Hawaiian Islands, you see that it shows that we have 5G just about everywhere, and a lot of it. Well, there's reason to believe that this is not accurate. One, if you look at all of these installations, they only show T-Mobile. And we know, for example, that Sprint is on Oahu, and also AT&T has 5G small cells on Oahu, and those are not part of this map. So the map is not accurate. And because it shows only T-Mobile, we kind of thought maybe, Ookla was owned by T-Mobile or something. I don't think they are. We did look into that a little bit. But the thing about T-Mobile is that they don't use millimeter wave frequencies. T-Mobile uses a lower part of the spectrum, 600 megahertz, for their 5G. And this is one of the companies that is being accused in the tech media of having fake 5G because they're not using millimeter waves. But nonetheless, they advertise that this is 5G, and apparently 5G-enabled cell phones do work with this lower frequency of the 600 megahertz. So the bottom line is that newer towers that have been erected recently are beefed up 4G that's convertible to 5G with a software update. And the other thing that's happening is that those beefed up 4G signals are more heavily modulated than before, and so people can feel it. So when a new antenna or tower goes up, people can feel it because of this modulation and they think, "Oh my God, it's 5G and I'm getting zapped." Well, you are getting zapped, but it may be 5G, it may not. It may just be a beefed up 4G tower or antenna. But it really doesn't matter whether it's 4G, 3G, 6G, 5G. The bottom line is wireless radiation is harmful. So don't get too concerned about is it 5G or 4G or whatever. Wireless radiation is harmful, period. This is a picture of the island of Oahu. This is taken as a screenshot from a website that shows satellite paths. And this is showing us that there is an Elon Musk 5G dedicated satellite orbiting over the Hawaiian Islands. So let's talk a little bit about those satellites. Right now, Elon Musk's SpaceX company has 420 5G satellites orbiting planet Earth. And that number was just achieved a few days ago. Today is April 27th, and it was really a matter of a few days ago when SpaceX did their recent launch and brought their number of 5G satellites up to 420. Last fall, they said that when they reached 400 or more satellites in orbit, that they would activate them. So at this point in time, we don't know if they have activated those satellites or not. We do know that if they haven't already, it could literally happen at any moment. The OneWeb company has 74 5G satellites orbiting Earth, but they declared bankruptcy just a few days ago. And so we don't know what's going to happen with those 74 satellites. Are they going to become space junk? Or is some other company going to buy them and take them over? We just don't know. We do know that there are plans for 120,000 new 5G satellites. 50,000 of those are planned by SpaceX and the rest of them by other companies. And this is just in the US, by the way, because there are other companies in other countries that are also launching 5G satellites. And satellites do not stay confined to a particular area. The bottom line is every inch of planet Earth is going to be bathed in radiation 24/7, 365, with no place to hide, no sanctuary, no safety. And 5G does not only negatively impact humans, it also harms all life, plants, animals, trees, insects, the pollinators, everything. Please visit our website at keepyourpower.org for more information. We have a couple of petitions up there. One is a petition to stop 5G until it can be proven safe. We also have a petition up there against the giant 5G drones. You can also join our newsletter list. We hope that you will, because I'm constantly sending out calls to action when we need you to step up and submit testimony or send emails or voice your opinion, show up at hearings, all kinds of things. So it's a really good way to stay informed and to know when to take action. We have a Facebook group called 5G Free Hawaii. Please check us out on Facebook. And right now we have a GoFundMe campaign going. And if you go to GoFundMe and search 5G Hawaii, our campaign will show up. We are raising money because we need to buy certified meters to test the cell towers and antennas. And we want to purchase 1 meter for each of the main islands because it is the wild, wild west of wireless here in Hawaii. Basically, the telecom companies are self-regulating and no one is policing them. That means that their towers and antennas could be emitting way over the allowable limits and we would never know. So by having these certified meters, certified to be accurate, we can track and record and hold big telecom accountable. So please check out our GoFundMe campaign. search under 5G Hawaii. We need to buy special meters to test cell towers. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Aloha.